Finally back to 15 pull-ups after snapping my, oh my god, and 2 after getting hit by a bus back in February. Are you like, oh my god, Adonis, are you okay? Like, have you fully recovered? Everything's okay? See, I've been hit by a car, but getting hit by a bus? Oh my god. Hit the gym, boys. That way you can take on a bus like me. You hear that, Shade? All right. I am now even more motivated to... You never know, right? You never know when you need the muscles.
Yes, you read the title right. I almost got Isekaid. Last year, I flew back to the Philippines to study and take the pharmacy licensure exam in April. It was a sunny afternoon on February 19, as I was on my way back to my dorm after going out to eat. It was a four-way road with a flyover in the middle. I crossed one lane with no problem, but the very next step of me crossing another lane, I was hit by a bus. I was transported to the Hall of Eternity and met the goddess. She started explaining to me that the world needed a hero to stop the Demon King. But something spooked the goddess. My aura overwhelmed her. She thought I was a bigger threat than the Demon King, strength worthy to topple the gods. So she chose a random Japanese guy instead. Bam! Anyways, she sent me back. Good thing I built a lot of DR, and being a shy, I had a shit ton of HP. I'm also very fit. I stood up dazed, adrenaline was pumping, and I tried to look for a taxi to go to a hospital. But one of the bus employees insisted that they would take me to the hospital instead. I got on the bus and saw the shocked passenger staring at me as I tried to look for an available seat. I sat down and attempted to make small talk with the passengers, but they were still processing what just happened. It's a bit difficult to not scare people if you're wiping blood from your head while trying to do small talk. The bus driver was angry at himself, and to top it off, he had one of his nieces in front, so she saw everything. We arrived at the hospital's emergency room. The bus driver and his niece accompanied me inside as the nurses set up a space for me. I can tell that I traumatized the driver's niece. The nurse told me to fill up a form, but blood from a cut on my elbow started pouring all over the form. It was the hospital I entered for my undergrad to finish my hospital hours, so some of the pharmacy interns recognized my name in my patient chart. Even the nurse intern recognized me because I'm apparently well known on campus as the guy that works out on the basketball court with my gymnastic rings. For context, back when I interned, I lived in the dorms and my schedule was all over the place. And the gym only opened from 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. To get my workout in, I had to exercise in the basketball court where everyone could see me. They x-rayed me and sure enough, my collarbone snapped in two, but everything else seemed to be intact. I messaged my parents that I was hit by a bus and I'm okay. I didn't want them to worry, but let's face it, any parent would freak out if one of their kids get hit by a bus. So they got plane tickets to check up on me. The adrenaline eventually wore off and pain started to settle in. My head was throbbing, and the left side of my body was in a lot of pain. The room was finally ready, so they transferred me in. My friend, who's currently in med school, visited me to make sure that I wouldn't lose consciousness to prevent brain complications. As busy as she is, she insisted. I was scheduled for surgery in 2 days. They judged me to be active in athletics, so they chose a sports specialist to be my doctor. Doc said that they would put a titanium implant on my clavicle to facilitate faster healing. Titanium is used because of its excellent biocompatibility and its ability to promote osseointegration, meaning it naturally integrates itself into the bone and supports bone cell adhesion and proliferation. The surgery went smoothly and I woke up absolutely faded. They put a fentanyl patch on my chest, which is pretty standard for post-op procedure. They later put me on tramadol drip to manage post-op pain. A day after surgery, I started throwing up. This freaked my parents out. They thought it was something neurological from the brain injury, so they scanned my brain and found a hematoma or a blood clot in the occipital region of my brain. The doctor said it was small and would just go away eventually, so the surgery wasn't needed. This did not comfort my parents. What did I think of all this? Well, I wasn't worried at all. I knew it wasn't something neurological because I felt better after vomiting. Studying pharmacology, I knew the culprit wasn't neurological. The problem was trivial to me because I knew it was caused by the opiates I was on after the surgery. The vomiting was induced by delayed gastric emptying caused by the tramadol drip. Because opiates inhibit GI motility, food accumulated and had nowhere to go, and the distension of my intestines triggered the vomiting reflex. I'm built different, so I told the nurse to discontinue the tramadol drip ASAP. Something as trivial as bone surgery did not warrant opiates to manage my pain. Or so I thought. Hours later, I started having severe headaches which lasted for 2 days. I wasn't able to sleep at all because of the severe pain. I knew that immediately halting opiates isn't a good idea either. But I have this toxic trait of thinking I'm built different when I've been proven time and time again that I am indeed not. Apart from autonomic dysregulation caused by immediately stopping opiates, what I didn't know, because I didn't study, was that tramadol is also an atypical opiate that also acts as an SNRI. The sudden discontinuation led to an imbalance of serotonin which led to my severe headache. It's a common withdrawal symptom seen in other serotonergic agents, so it makes sense. This pain was worse than the injury, but it eventually went away. I told the nurse to tell the doctor to prescribe me a laxative. The doctor prescribed me a tablet with senna extract, and the vomiting problem was solved. Hours before being discharged, a pharmacist and a pharmacy intern who was an underclassman I knew back in uni went to my room to counsel me about the drugs that were prescribed to me, mainly the antibiotic, which was a fluoroquinolone. The intern told me not to drink or eat anything that is high in calcium. Being the rat that I am, I proceeded to quiz him on the mechanism of the interaction in front of the pharmacist to tease him. He got flustered and couldn't answer, but it was all in good fun. The pharmacist laughed and they went on their merry day. After being discharged, I visited the hospital's pharmacy to greet my fellow underclassmen before leaving, and that was it. My parents and I went sightseeing afterwards. I missed the sun, and as a bonus, sunlight helped alleviate my constant headaches. I wasn't off the hook though. I still had my licensure exam fast approaching. I only had a month and a half left of studying, and with my condition, I didn't think I would be ready. I thought to myself that I should just do it next year. So I attended the review program for exam takers and took their pre-board examination to prove I wasn't ready. I paid for that shit, so I thought I may as well. Didn't want my money to go to waste. I didn't feel prepared, but I went in there raw, no studies, constant headaches, and took it anyways. Little did I know that I would have the highest score among the takers from the university I attended. On our second attempt, I got the second highest. Fine, I'll do it. 2 weeks later, my friends and I went to this retreat house to lock in for the licensure exam. We were focused on our studies and polishing up. By we, I mean they. Because I was mainly playing Black Desert. Because of my brain injury, I still had constant headaches and I wasn't able to study for prolonged periods of time. I studied for 4 hours at most in a day. I had my iPad next to me and I would read as I hunted and cooked in Black Desert. Something to keep my brain active allowed me to study little by little. It sounds hopeless, but the way I study is foundational. Then I start branching and connecting different subjects together. While my friends focus on one module at a time, I was studying multiple, connecting topics whenever they were applicable. I studied topics in fragments to make it digestible for my brain, and this allowed me to understand how it relates to different subjects. This also allowed me to pull out the information quickly. After studying, we would often have sessions together where we ask questions and quiz each other. Despite having the lowest number of hours of studying among my peers, I would answer most questions they would throw at me. One of my friends even told me to not answer before anyone else. Of course, I wasn't perfect, but these sessions allowed me to further find gaps in my knowledge. Every night before I go to bed, I would start memorizing a table of drugs, diseases, or metabolic pathways while lying down with my eyes closed until I fall asleep. My ability to absorb and memorize knowledge was not this impressive before. I often joke around saying the accident made me smarter, but I didn't think it would be to this extent. Also, as I said before, I am built different. Just a month after the surgery, I started doing some light exercises to minimize atrophy. I incorporated jogging and exercising in my daily routine during my stay in the retreat house. The doctor advised me to wait 6 months before exercising, but the doctor was smaller than me, which made his medical expertise and opinion irrelevant. This is a joke, please listen to your doctor. I have knowledge and experience recovering from injuries, so I decided to make a custom plan that I deemed to suit me better than what the doctor recommended. After 13 days in the retreat house, it was finally the day of the exam. The exams were to be conducted in the university we attended. Exam takers from different colleges in the region were to go there. It was split into 2 days with 3 modules each. As I wake up and get dressed, I see my friends taking an antidiarrheal drug in the kitchen. I didn't know this was a common practice for exam takers. Apparently, people fear the urge of taking a shit while taking the exam. Enough so to use pharmacologic intervention. My impression of day 1 was that it was pretty standard. There were some I didn't know and had to guess, but not to the point I'd question my certainty of passing. Going to Twitter, on the other hand, numerous takers had the opposite impressions. Most questions, according to them, were apparently out of this world with 3 easy questions sprinkled around. Day 2 rolled around. Module 4 was pretty easy, but Module 5 rolled up and some questions were straight up out of this world. I'm not sure if it was the combination of brain damage and exhaustion, but I didn't even understand some of the questions. It felt like the grammar was straight up wrong. Thankfully, Module 6 didn't have too many surprises. The dean of our college invited the board takers for a pizza party afterwards. He congratulated us for our efforts and we just chatted. I was certain I passed, but what worried me was that I didn't fill out the test form correctly or shaded the wrong set. It's not beneath me to pull something dumb like that. And of course, the results were released and to no surprise I passed. I was just relieved my smooth brain didn't get the better of me. Months later, and I'm back to working out. Mainly just body weights for now, but I'll get back to it eventually. That clip you saw with Karen was a while back. Everybody in her chat was talking about their fitness and pull-up numbers, so I had to one-up every chatter. What's the lesson in all this? That I am indeed built normal.